Hey everybody, it is Thursday. Thank you for joining us. We are glad you're here for What We Cook. Tonight we're doing a little ethnic fare and it's not Mexican. Stay tuned. We are happy to share this one with you. It is What We Cook. It's Thursday, it's What We Cook. We are glad you're here as always. Please, please, please like, follow, and share. And you know what? We really love, love it when you comment and let us know what you think about what we're prepping. Now, I've got to say, tonight's meal, we are making samosas. And I have been waiting for so long to prepare these because there is just a great story that I'm excited to share about samosas with you and just how they come together pretty easily and they're so versatile. You can make them in many different ways. So Caitlin's going to tell you about the variety of samosa that we're going to make tonight.
So the ones that we're doing tonight will have ground beef, sweet potato, chickpea, celery, and petite peas. We've got about 2 cups worth of finely diced sweet potato, about the size of peas, so about 2 cups worth. It was half a large sweet potato, and then 1 can of rinsed, drained chickpeas, 2 stalks celery, sliced halfway and then finely sliced, and then we'll put in, I don't know, about a cup of peas, and then it's gonna all wrap together in some egg roll skins.
Well, I'm gonna get over to the stove and I'm gonna put these together, and the spices that I'm gonna use tonight are, of course, garlic salt, but changing things up a little bit, and some ground turmeric, some curry, and India fennel. There is going to be an explosion of flavors when you eat these samosas. They are delicious. And one more thing that we'd like to say before we get over there is that these are versatile. You can do without the meat if you want to do a vegetarian option, and the chickpeas are a great source of protein and an option as well. So I'm going to get over to the stove, put this all together, so then Caitlin can get to assembling the samosas. And that's the fun part. So here I go. Okay, over at the stove, and if you do decide to go with the ground beef option, you don't need, maybe a pound or less would be fine because there's a lot of other things that are going in the filling. I've heated the skillet, it is nice and warm, and we're just gonna brown the meat over medium-high heat. Get that sizzle going. And I'm not really gonna season the meat too much because once we add the meat to the other ingredients is when we'll add everything else. I do like to give it a little bit of garlic salt just to get a little bit of the flavor incorporated into the meat. But we're talking like literally 1/8 of a teaspoon, if that. Just eyeball it to what your preference is. So we'll get this all browned up, and once it is brown, then we're gonna reserve it and get onto the veggie mixture that will be combined with this meat and made into our samosas. I almost forgot, but I'm glad I didn't. Caitlin had to remind me, is we put our celery in with our meat. It's about 2 stalks, like she said, sliced in half and then thinly sliced. I always remember the celery flavor in samosas being one of my favorite things. Now, a little bit of backstory about these samosas is growing up as a kid, there was an Indian family that lived at the end of our street, and the wife was a fantastic Indian cook. Oh my gosh, the flavors that she created in her kitchen, or if you walked by her house, you could just smell it, and it was so incredible. And we we were so fortunate as a family that they would have our family over for dinner several times, and one of our favorite dishes was samosas. So one evening she invited my mom and I over to teach us how to make authentic Indian samosas. And of course this is a different variation, but I'll never forget being in her kitchen and watching her and watching my mom, especially when assembling the samosas in the egg roll wrappers. Of course, I was a little too young to really remember how to do that, but I'll never forget the flavors and how incredible it tasted. And so this has become one of our favorites. And the other thing about these is they're baked samosas. So they're a healthier option than frying them, but you can also deep fry these too. And hey, who doesn't love something that's really deep fried and delicious? So the meat is just about brown and the celery flavor is coming through. Of course, the garlic salt as well. And we haven't even gotten to the veggie portion of this. This is going to be an incredible meal, and it's coming together pretty quickly. All right, the meat and celery has been browned, and the celery has a really nice translucent texture or translucent look, and it still has a little bit of the firm texture, so you're gonna have a little bit of bite once you bite into your samosa. So we're gonna reserve this, and then we're gonna just take this pan right back to the stove, and then we're going to get our sweet potatoes softened, add our chickpeas, and then add our meat mixture back, and then all the seasonings together. So stay tuned, we're going back over here. Okay, we're back at the stove as promised with our diced sweet potato. Our pan that we use to brown the meat is back on. It is on a medium-high heat because sweet potatoes, as you know, have a little more texture to them. They're a little more firm, so it's gonna take a little bit more to get them cooked. We're gonna add them to the pan. No need for oil because we're gonna give them a little parboil with about a half a cup of water. And it's gonna sizzle, that's for sure. I'm gonna turn the heat down just a bit. And you may need to add more water as it goes along. But we want to get these soft enough so that you don't have a big bite when you bite into the samosa. So it took about 3/4 of a cup of water to get them parboiled to a nice texture. And then once the water steamed off, then I gave it a nice little char in the pan. So some of the pieces have some good char going on. You can smell the fragrance of sweet potato resonating throughout the kitchen and in the rest of the house. And they look pretty good. And they have a nice texture. Now it's time to add the chickpeas, 1 can of chickpeas. Again, if you opt for the vegetarian option, chickpeas are a great source of protein. And just to begin with, they've got great flavor as well. So we're gonna give these a nice stir, combine them up a little bit. And the one thing that we found the last time we made this version of samosa is that we really liked the texture of the chickpeas, but we like them mashed a little bit. So give them just a little fork mash. You don't have to get too involved or too crazy, but just get in the pan a little bit and mash those down. So you'll have some whole chickpeas, some whole sweet potato, but then some soft and mashed. And so lots of textures going on in this dish. And just let them incorporate a little bit. And we're not done yet, because we have one more round of veggies to go. We're gonna make this a colorful dish, and we have our petite peas to throw in also. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I don't know. That looks good to me. How about you? They just all came rushing out. You can't really go wrong with how much you put in. Just season to taste whatever type of flavors you like. And if you want more peas or fewer peas or no peas at all, you know, it's totally your ball game. It's your kitchen, it's your rules, it's your flavors. But this is just a ballpark idea to go with. This is something that we like. We've served these for dinner parties and taken them to friends' houses, and they've always been a hit just for their unique flavor and idea. Now, if you remember, a long time ago, we reserved the ground beef and celery that had been sauteed with a little bit of garlic salt. And now we're gonna add this back into the pot, into the pan. Make sure to get that celery in there. Excellent flavors. So we're gonna add this all back in and combine it. Now's the fun part. The house is already fragrant with everything that we've sauteed, But you get the Indian seasoning going, man, it's gonna be incredible. All right, so this is just an extra spice that we like to use. It's India fennel. If you can't find it, don't worry. It's just one more thing you can do. Just a small palmful. And you also want to awaken those flavors. So just give it a little rub in your hand and then sprinkle it throughout. All right, and my favorite, curry. Sometimes recipes don't call for enough curry, at least in my opinion. So I like to put quite a bit in there. So I'm gonna put a good 1.5 to 2 tablespoons, sprinkle it all around, because I want to know that it's Indian night in the house and I'm eating incredible Indian flavors. Next thing, just for a little bit of extra color and another layer of flavor, is some ground turmeric. And again, this is totally optional. I'm gonna say about a teaspoon of this. And we did pre-season the meat a little bit with some garlic salt, but you probably want just a little bit more because we didn't put too much in there. So you want to have some salt that helps bring out all the other flavors. And of course, you can't go wrong with the flavor of garlic. So we have all of our spices in. I'm just going to give it a little stir, get it all coated up. And this is going to be the filling of our baked samosas that will be coming together shortly, courtesy of Caitlin's egg roll wrapper folding expertise. All right, so our filling has come together.
Yum.
And it's a little step of processes, but it did come together. It looks good, it smells delicious. And it is still steaming. Now, like I said, I am not the artist when it comes to putting them in the egg roll skins. I get too impatient, but Caitlin has figured it out, and it's probably not the perfect traditional way of doing it, but it works for us. And you know, it still tastes amazing. So I will let her take over and show you the art of samosa making.
All right, so I've opened up my egg roll skins and I've taken about half the package out. So I'm gonna take a sharp blade and do a half length down the diagonal, just like so. So that's gonna leave me with this shape. So I've got just some ramekin of water. Just gonna,
and that's very important. That's a pro tip right there. When you put these together, the water is very important to have.
So it takes a little practice. Hold it in your hand. You're gonna take your other hand and just kind of flip it over and
She lost me right there already.
attach it to the other side, and you got this cone shape.
It's so perfect. Do you want a spoon?
Yeah, if you don't mind, hand me a spoon.
Get you a big spoon.
All right, and then we're just gonna get our filling and spoon it in. All right.
And if you're wondering where you can find egg roll wrappers in the store, well, I guess part of it depends on.
Right there is a pro tip. Where to find them.
Part of it depends on what store you go to. In Texas, or at least in Central and South Texas, you know, of course, we shop at HEB, not Itchy, which we actually heard on an NPR story.
That was a good one.
HEB. At HEB, you can find the egg roll skins in your produce section. So in the refrigerated section there, over there. We also have an Asian market up the street, and Caitlin had to go in for an emergency need of egg roll skins, and they were not in the produce department.
Were they not?
I don't remember where they were.
They were on the far side of the store, and just like a refrigerated frozen aisle, I guess. They looked like your frozen aisle, but they were refrigerated doors, and that's where they were.
Okay, but you can always also ask your helpful attendants of the store where you can find them. And also be aware that some stores may not have them, so it might be a little bit of an effort to investigate and find them, but it is totally worth tracking them down and having them, because this is a delicious meal.
So after I've gotten a couple tablespoons of filling in, I take some more water, dampen the outside so that I flip that over and it attaches like so.
Oh my gosh.
And
so
then
perfect.
I just lay it down. I did go ahead and give a light spray of oil to the pan. So I'm just gonna keep this going until there's no filling left.
Keep on keeping on, and the filling is like right in front of me. It's so tempting to just want to take the spoon and start eating it already, but I know that the finished product is well worth it after we put it in the oven and
really
bake it. Comes together. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious.
Our samosas are assembled. Only thing left is we are going to give them a light spray with some olive oil. And now all we have left is to get them into oven. It's preheated at 425 and they're gonna bake for about 10 to 15 minutes until they're golden brown. No need to flip these or anything, just let them go. Samosas prepped and ready for the oven. In they go. See you in 10 to 15 minutes. So the samosas took a little bit longer than 15 minutes. I'd say probably closer to 20 minutes to get this nice color on it.
But they are done. They have cooled just a little bit and we are ready to enjoy them. Yes.
So let's do. So how we enjoy them, we just simply take some lemon wedges and we're just gonna squeeze some lemon on them. When we do enjoy these fully, we like to enjoy it with some cilantro, garlic, cauli rice with turmeric.
And you can check out the recipe for this on our website, teamsaunderstry.com, along with our plethora of other recipes that we've filled up over the last few months. So check it out over there. Of course, we'll have the samosa recipe online as well. And I'm ready to eat these.
Grab me a lemon. I'm gonna bite the little tip off. Squeeze some lemon in there.
I like lots of lemon on mine. Sweet potato,
Yum.
peas, ground beef, chickpeas, celery,
Some
Indian spices.
Yes. Oh, the spices are spot on. Terrific job with that. It's just like eating out in a nice Indian restaurant. So during these times, make your own Indian cuisine at home.
Absolutely, have fun with it. Egg roll wrappers, it comes together. And again, you can put the filling whatever you want. Experiment with the flavors.
We've done eggplant. Eggplant's delicious.
The veggies, so many variations of it. Let us know what you use when you make the samosas because we know you're going to. Please share with us what you have done and how you like it. And as always, like, follow, share. And with love from our kitchen to yours, have a great night.
Thank you.